Hi, everyone. Again, I just hung up with you like 15 minutes ago, but what else is there to do on a Monday? Then sew and have a lot of fun. So today we have a really fun show for you. Emily's coming on and she's going to be refashioning leggings into shorts. So this whole week, the theme is refashion, upcycle, use something out of your closet or refashion it, whatever you want, something like that. But I have a really big surprise for you. So Brother has decided that they are going to donate a few sewing machines our way. So there's going to be a contest. It will launch tomorrow. I just have to finish the last details, but this is kind of how it's going to work. Every Friday, as you know, the brand ambassadors have taken over the Brother Sews Facebook page and YouTube, and with live shows every single day. So every time you comment during one of our live shows, that will be one entry. There's also going to be an official entry, which I'll have for you tomorrow. The Wolf Pack, it's the same entry that we use for all of our contests, so it'll make it really easy. You'll have an opportunity to enter every single day, and every Friday, we will do a random drawing for one person to win a sewing machine. And I'm going to tell you more about the machine and things like that tomorrow, but I just want to give you a little hint about that. So all the details are coming tomorrow, but you can plan your calendar for 10, not just one, but 10 Fridays in a row. We will be giving away a sewing machine to one lucky winner. All right? So I'll give you more details tomorrow, but that'll at least get you going. So thank you, Brother, for letting us take over your page. And now hopefully we'll be sending a machine to one of you lucky winners. Yeah, Elaine, really, I know. And so today, all you have to do today is comment on the show, and that will give you one entry. But it officially starts tomorrow, but you will be included from today. And I'll give you the rest of the details tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the show with May. Sound pretty good? All right. And we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so leave your comments. So let's bring up Emily. Hey, Emily.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Oh, so did you hear that? The big giveaway every single Friday, Brother's giving away a machine for 10 weeks in a row.
That is so exciting. I love it.
And I'm giving all the rest of the details tomorrow about the machine and things like that, but I thought I'd give a little teaser out there because I thought it'd be pretty cool.
Good idea. Yeah.
So Emily, you got some sun this weekend. Did you go outside?
We were outside a little bit. Yeah, I never know. Like, I don't always feel, I would still feel like I'm pretty much on winter mode, but we had a picnic and had a long walk yesterday, and Saturday was still, the snow was still melting, but yesterday was nice. So
yeah, it was here too. I actually have a little sunburnt on my nose. So when you're wearing a winter coat and the sun comes out, you really don't think of sunscreen, but
no.
Oh, no. So everybody that's rolling in that has never been to our show before, be sure to say hi, everyone. Say where you're from. I'll give you details on the machine shortly. And we are live on Facebook and YouTube. And so leave your comments. And Emily's going to show a great tutorial today. And then we always take questions at the end. So, or in the middle. I'll just interrupt you.
Yeah, that's fine. Please do. Yes, please ask as I go, because sometimes, it's easier to remember or ask things as we're walking through rather than at the end, you kind of forget. So today I'm going to upcycle a few things, and the legging cut off to shorts is something I do every spring with leggings that are either too short or have holes in them. And then my daughter wears these under her like skirts and dresses all summer, and because she loves to wear skirts or sundresses, but she also plays with brothers. So she has to wear something under them. I cannot let her just have her little underwear on, or the world sees it. So she's used to it now. She puts a dress on, she puts a little pair of shorts on underneath, and then I feel like we don't really have to worry about it, or it's not really a discussion that comes up. So, and then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my husband. I said this morning, I said, do you have a t-shirt? I have. He always has some in the bottom of his drawer that he never wears. So he gave me this old Packer shirt, and apparently he doesn't want this. It's too thick for him. He doesn't really like thick t-shirts. But I was just going to show you how easy it is to make a little pair of shorts out of an old t-shirt. And I've used this for both my boys and my girls because they make great pajama shorts. Old soft t-shirts make the softest PJ shorts or pants, depending on how tiny your child is. And I've already pre-traced. This is from my free short legging pattern. So it's the same as the long legging pattern, just short. And there's 2 versions on my site. And you can find it going to lifesosavory.com. But so I've already cut out or traced the one I'm going to cut out for my daughter. And we're going to make her a little pair of green shorts out of this old t-shirt. So that's what we're going to do today.
Fun. But I just have to tell you, when you said that you were going to make shorts out of a t-shirt, my mind doesn't, it's Monday, so you never know. But all I could think of was, well, great, you put both the legs through the arms, and it'll be like MC Hammer pants, I guess.
Yes. Actually, one of my favorite upcycles, and it only works for little kids because eventually your legs get too long, is to buy big sweaters at a thrift store. And I cut off the sleeves, and I've made pants for my daughter out of these sweater sleeves. And they're so fun because they're so warm and cozy. It's like wearing a sweater on your legs. And the cuff, the leg cuff becomes, or the arm cuff becomes like, anyway, so cute. But you have to cut it up a little bit. You can't just put your legs through the sweaters.
All right. Well, you want to take it over?
Yes. Okay. So I have 2 pairs of leggings here. This one is actually going to be a double upcycle because these were originally leggings I bought for myself. And then I decided I would never wear this bold of a floral print. So I turned it into leggings for my daughter. And today we're going to cut them off to shorts. And this is one that I attached a skirt to. It's all one piece. So we'll make the shorts, and then it'll be a skirt with shorts. And this is a half circle skirt if you're interested. And then these are other leggings that she's totally worn through the knee. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple different ways to finish your knit fabrics when you're sort of cutting them and adapting them like this. It's really easy. And in fact, even if you have no sewing skills at all, you can cut off leggings and not finish the edge, and it's not really going to fray or do anything because most of the fabrics that leggings are made out of, they're not going to go anywhere, even if you just cut them and leave them raw. So I'm going to put the camera down a little bit so you can see my workspace and cut these, and then we'll go over and sew them up. Okay.
That sounds great. And I see everyone that's rolling in that's new. We are going to be refashioning leggings, and also leave your comments and questions, and I will interrupt her while she's sewing if you have anything specific at that moment.
Perfect.
All right.
So of course you can do these as long or as short as you want, depending on what you're using them for. If you're going to use them for shorts to wear, I would probably keep them a little bit longer, but often when we're just doing the undershorts, I don't always make them too long. So I'm going to cut both legs at the same time, and then I'll even it up. This one is not laying very nicely. I don't know if it's the fabric or what. So I'm going to cut it and then even it up. But so these are the holy ones. So we're cutting off the holes where the hole was, and then you can see we have raw edges. So worst case or best case scenario for you, you could just leave these raw and go ahead and let your child or yourself wear these leggings as shorts. But I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can easily finish those raw edges as well using your sewing machine. So let's do the same thing on this one. And this one has the skirt attached. So yeah, I usually do just cut. I think the best way to get the legs the same length is to cut them together. But however your method is of cutting, and I want to move this skirt out of the way because I really just want this to be where you see the skirt, and maybe the leggings peek out a tiny bit, but I'm not going to make them too long. And then we'll just double check that I cut that. I'm using the grid lines on my mat to cut them straight-ish, but never hurts to double check. So there, by the time I hem those up a little bit, we'll have a little skirt, but you can see that, it will have the shorts underneath, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit on the short side. All right, so those will be the 2 that we'll hem. And then this one, we're going to cut out of this old t-shirt that's nice and soft because it's been worn.
Arnell says you did not even flinch when you cut those off.
Nope. Just whack through them. She's got plenty of leggings. If I ruin these, we'll have more. Depending on where your print is, you can try to avoid it if these are shorts that you may be wearing around. If they're just for pajamas, my kids have all kinds of weird half graphics on their PJs where I've just cut a pair of shorts and then didn't even bother to avoid the graphics. So it's up to you. And of course, you know, a plain t-shirt would work great as well. You can see that I'm leaving about 1 inch on the bottom off the t-shirt, and that's because I'm not going to hem this. I'm going to leave the original bottom hem of the shirt, which is another reason I love to do this, because it makes it even a quicker project from an already quick project, because I don't have to hem these. So you'll see just how quickly they sew up. And again, this is a free short legging pattern, whatever you want to call it. And you can find that on my site. And I think it's from size 12 months to 12 years or 18 months to 12 years. I'm not exactly sure. I blended the 4 and the 7 for my thin, tall daughter. Okay, so here we have the 2 little short pieces, and again, you want to cut these in mirror so you don't have 2 left legs or 2 right legs. But if you just cut out the t-shirt, it automatically mirrors it because the wrong sides are together. So make sure either the wrong sides or the right sides are together when you cut out your leggings, if you're cutting them from scratch. And when my boys were little, I used to cut these out of the t-shirt, and then I would actually be able to cut, if the adult t-shirt was big enough, I could cut out a little t-shirt out of the rest of these scraps and have a whole like PJ set out of one adult t-shirt. So there really are a lot of things you can make out of, especially men's shirts, because there's so much fabric. So I love reusing those and, you know, getting more wear out of them, especially if the fabric is still good. So, okay, so I think it's time to sew, and
that sounds good. Everybody's loving what you're doing.
So far, so easy.
So far, easy. So I was laughing earlier. Somebody was talking about using the rotary cutter, and they said they can never use the rotary cutter without having Band-Aids.
Yes, I so far have kept my fingers cut free right now. I mean, this is, at least with this mat, this is a new mat, so
I'm knocking.
Not too bad. Some are slipperier than others, for sure. Okay, so
right.
let's finish these 2 first, and then I'll just show you how quick it is to sew up a pair from this shirt that we cut. So I've already pre-cut the waist elastic for those pair, and I'm just going to set that to the side with the fabric. Okay, so the easiest way that I think, besides just leaving the fabric raw, is to just fold up and do a little zigzag. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think the only thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is using a stretch stitch, because of course, as these get put on and off, this leg is going to be stretched. And so you just want to make sure that it's a stitch that can be stretched. So the ways I'm going to show today is I'm going to do one with a zigzag, and one of these I'll finish on the cover stitch machine. But you could also use the knit stitch on your machine. You could use a twin needle, you know, just lots of different options. So if you're a beginner sewer, I would recommend folding a 1/2 inch hem up, and I'll show you this up close when I'm finished. Fold a 1/2 inch up and then sew on the inside, because it's really easier to see. I often will sew on the outside or the right side of the fabric, but it is a little trickier if you're not used to sewing as much. So I'm sewing on the inside, and then I'm really just able to see exactly that I have a 1/2 inch turned up. I have the speed turned down. But anyway, so and then you just go around and you can pin this or clip it, but on this tiny little hem, because this isn't a very big pair of leggings, sometimes those pins or clips just get in the way when I'm trying to work in such a small space. So especially because this doesn't have to be perfect, this isn't a dress that's going to drape. I'm just sewing and adjusting as I go my little 1/2 inch hem.
Hey, Emily, what machine are you using?
This is the 5000, the LB 5000.
I should know that. I'm writing it down. Every Monday I ask you it, but a couple people ask. I know it's such a quiet machine too. It's great.
Yeah. So I can actually see that the tension on my zigzag is a little bit off, but we're gonna go with it. I didn't try this out before, but so there's on the inside. Let's see, where's the camera? So there's on the inside, and you can see I was able to see that as I was sewing, and then here's on the outside. And so you can see it's a nice stretchy stitch. So when it's going on and off, you'll still be able to have some give in your fabric. And so we don't break or pop those stitches. And you could, of course, do this in black. I wanted you to be able to see it. And these are mostly going to be worn under things. So it's not as important to me that the hem blends in. But of course, you know, use your discretion on what color fabric or which color thread you want, depending on what you're going to be doing with them. Okay, so let's just sew up the other one. And again, these were leggings that I made from scratch in the fall. But what I love is that then when it comes to summer, I don't really have to sew many things from scratch because I can usually just turn most of the winter leggings into summer shorts, and you know, and then I get to sew all the fun dresses and skirts and not have to worry about the under part.
You're using the zigzag stitch on the machine, aren't you?
Yep, I'm just using the regular zigzag stitch, and I haven't made it any wider or narrower than just what it is standard.
Can you tell, is that a 2.0 width on that for those that?
The width is 3.5 on what it is set on.
So that'll help, Patricia, that should help you. 3.5 width on your zigzag in case you're using a different machine.
Okay, yeah, so if you're setting it, that's what I'm using. And of course, you could make it even narrower if you didn't really want to see the zigzag, but you would still get the stretch benefit of it, you know, with a narrower zigzag, more like a stretch stitch.
Okay.
So there we go. Whoops.
Nice. That looks great.
Yep, cute little. So now we have some little shorts, and they're ready to be worn under whatever we've got going on this summer. So looks like we have
those things are really cute.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's upside down, but it's not. The fabric, the unicorns are going both directions. So whatever. Okay, so now we're going to do the second pair on the cover stitch, and you can, this would maybe be if you know, you were going to wear these, or like this one, you might see this peeking out a little bit because this is such a short skirt that we're wearing this on, whereas really cute, the other one might go under a longer one. So I do love doing the attached skirt to leggings, and it's very easy once you get going.
Are you using a knit needle on that?
On the cover stitch, I just have a universal needle on it, and I think it will be fine.
Oh, no, not on that one. I'm sorry, for the sewing machine.
Yes.
Okay.
On the sewing machine.
Just checking. I'm answering the questions for you as you go.
On this one, if it doesn't like my fabric for some reason and does give me trouble, I will, sorry, I've got my feet under here. I will change out the cover stitch needles, but I generally don't on the cover stitch. So we'll see how this is the machine that if something's going to mess up while I'm doing a live show, it's this one.
It's always the cover stitch or serger. They have a mind of their own, I swear.
It loves to be temperamental, and it never gives me trouble when I'm by myself.
Nope, never. Only if you're live.
Yeah, so let's see if we can do this. So this one I am sewing on, looking at the right side of the fabric, because I want my nice 3 needles to be on the top and not the looper. But of course you could, yeah, I already lost 1 thread, but we're just gonna do 2 threads. One broke. I don't know. The two are working fine. I did not test it right before I went live. Of course, that's probably my fault as well. I didn't give it a warm up.
So I'm answering questions while you're warming it up.
Yeah.
Louise wants to know if we have any tips for how to remember what machine is in the machine. And I do have a tip for you, Louise.
You mean
that,
needles? Needles in the machine?
Yeah, the needles. Yeah, they have colors on them now. A lot of them are color coded. So if you can just remember what color, so one, it shows it on the package. So that's a great way to do that.
And you could even make yourself a little chart or a Post-it, cheat sheet for those colors as well if it's, difficult for you to remember.
Absolutely. So I see a ton of you asking about the mat she was using with magnets, and you can go to her website, which I'll post this on the bottom because it's not affiliated with Brother, but you can go to her website or my website and find information about that cutting mat. So, all right, guys, in case I wasn't ignoring you, I was just letting you know. I thought I had a link to it, but it's the wrong one. So.
Okay. All right, so we're back around. So here it ended up to be a 2-stitch instead of a 3-stitch because I lost one of the threads right at the beginning, so that was fine. So we have a 2-thread cover stitch, and then on the back you can see that looper going, and it's a nice stretch stitch. So
that looks awesome.
Really cute. I'm just going to tie this one off, and then we'll do the other one. And we're going to stick with 2 threads.
This is what we call making it work.
Making it work. That's the story of my life. I always, when I'm doing leggings, whether I'm sewing them the first time or sewing them the second time, I like to start the hem on the inside, on the inseam, because then if you mess up a little bit or whatever your start and stop looks like, it's on that inner leg and it's not really seen. So that's, I don't know if that's the way everyone does it, but that's the way I always do my leggings.
That's what I do too. Even on even on a shirt seam, always inside, because then you can't really see it. If somebody's looking that close,
they're too close. Yeah.
Kay said she's dying to get a cover stitch herself. Great to see you again, Kay. You got sidetracked quilting. You're so funny.
Yes, I do love this machine. But for me, it took the biggest learning curve of any sewing machine that I've ever started with. But now, now I love it. But I feel like even embroidery machines and all of those were so easy to learn compared to this one. But maybe it was just me. I don't know.
So Donna, I see your question on here, and while she's serging, I'll answer it for you. This machine is not a serger. It's a cover stitch. So a serger actually cuts the fabric and finishes the edges at the same time. And a cover stitch, what she's using, hems the fabric. So it'll have stitches on the top or 2, depending on what you're doing. And then the back side is finished. So does a different process.
Yes. And, if you check out your commercially made t-shirts, you can always, that's what I always tell people to look at to know what kind of stitch this does, because that's what you're looking at is hems on all your shirts that you've bought. You can see pretty up close what it looks like.
What cover stitch machine are you using right now?
This is the 3550, but I've taken off the apparatus for the top looper because it was out of sync and I need to get it tuned up. So I just got it out of my way.
Perfect.
Okay, so here we go. We have little.
Those are so cute. Oh my gosh.
Skirt.
If my sister's watching, Teresa, you are going to love this.
And then you can make a full circle or a half circle on your leggings. This is a half, and so you can see the back does have a hem down the back of the skirt. But if you do a full circle, then you don't even have any skirt line or hem lines. And I didn't hem this skirt. I always just leave it. Usually when I put these circle skirts on leggings, I just leave them raw, and it gives just a nice light feel rather than worrying about putting a hem on there. And this one has been worn all winter long. So you can see that it's, you know, held up just fine like that.
That is so cute. So cute.
So, okay. So there we have 2 different ways that you can easily turn your long leggings into short leggings. And now I want to show you how in about 5 minutes you can make leggings from scratch using a t-shirt. So easy. So easy. Okay. So we've cut out our 2 legging pieces, and now I just need to flip them so that the right sides are together, and we're matching the fronts to the fronts and the backs to the back. And you can tell the front and the back because the back is a longer curve where the butt will be. And we're going to start by sewing those 2 curved seams. And I'm going to use the serger here to sew those up. Oh goodness. I was doing a rolled hem, so my differential feed is...
Oh. See, this is all live. You just never know.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a lot better now. Why is that going so tight?
We're going to have a full serging lesson today.
Oh my goodness, I'll give you all the what not to do here while sewing.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to answer a question for you. So somebody on here wanted, Stacy wanted to know, if you are going to serge or sew knits, what would be more important, having the serger or the cover stitch if she's going to add one thing to her sewing room? I would say my vote would be add a serger first, because a serger you're going to use on everything, finishing seams and stuff like that, and then add the cover stitch after that. That's what my vote would be.
100%. I sewed with the sewing machine and the cover and the serger for years and years, and made tons of clothes, especially with the fabrics, before I ever had the cover stitch. And you can actually, if you get really good at putting a twin needle on your sewing machine and then sew everything with your serger, you can get really nice finished clothes without the cover stitch.
There you go. Okay, let's see what you got
at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what is that happening? And then, we got going and we're good. So there it is. I made something over the weekend and did a little rolled hem on it and forgot to change the settings back, apparently. I changed the tension when I sat down this morning, but that was all I did. Okay, so now we'll sew up the other side.
Are you using a 3-thread or 4-thread for you right now?
I have a 4-thread. I did put the needle back in and re-thread it. Just didn't change anything else. Okay, so then we take it and we open up the legs. And we have our front and our back on these seams that we just sewed. And then we're going to sew up the inseam. Now, because we use the bottom of the t-shirt, our little legs are already hemmed. So we just match the center seam and then sew that inseam right down. And you do want to make sure that the ends are matched pretty perfectly, because we're not going to hem it. So we don't get another chance to even those up. So sometimes that requires like a slight tug on one side or the other, depending on if your t-shirt placement was exact or not.
Christina wants to know if you match your threads to the inside of your garment. I usually do, but she's not, and you're never going to see that, but she's probably not doing that, so you could see that as well, just so you know.
Right. So if I'm sewing something that I'm not going to be writing about or photographing, I will match it if I was selling something or giving something away. But if I'm writing a photo tutorial on how to make something, I almost always use a contrasting thread so that it shows up in photos and you can see. And like here, I want you to be able to see. And I don't change my exact color, but I will go light and dark depending on what I'm making.
Yeah.
And then here so this is the hem, and I have this serger tail. So I'm threading it through my darning needle here and then back through to finish that off so I can cut it. And then I'll show you on the right side what that looks like, but that just gives a nice finished edge. And I have used, I call this the girls summer shorty pattern, but I've totally made leggings and shorts for my boys out of this pattern. I will lengthen it a little bit if I'm making boys PJ shorts. And I usually size up at least one size, so it's not tight for my sons, but it's definitely a pattern that works for both genders. And when my boys play flag football in the fall and they want like athletic tights to wear under their shorts, they get a pair of leggings made by mom. So
that's a great idea.
yeah, so, and you can use your athletic fabric and you're good to go. All right, so there's our little shorts. And now we just need to put
so cute
the elastic in. So I'm going to use the all-in-one casing and elastic attachment method. At least that's what I call it. Might have a different term. So I'm going to take my pre-cut elastic and sew it into a circle. Our machine is already set on the zigzag, so we're just going to overlap it a 1/4 inch and zigzag down the elastic to form a circle. Okay, and then
any specific kind of elastic? Is it non-a-roll, sports elastic, or just whatever you got?
This is just woven. Is it woven elastic? It's not the soft kind.
Oh yeah, that's not sports elastic.
Not sports elastic. No. So this is just 1 inch elastic, which is usually what I use on the top of leggings and shorts. So to put this in, generally you will find that on leggings or tight fitting shorts, your elastic ends up to be about the same size as the circumference of the top of your fabric, because it's not, the fabric's not really going to stretch. It's pretty fitted. So I will find that when I attach this to the top of my shorts, they're about the same. If the fabric is a little bit bigger, then you need to stretch it to fit. But you can see here on the side, it's pretty much the same. So I'll mark it in 4 places, sort of quartering it. And then I'm just going to use my serger to sew around the top of this and attach the elastic and finish the raw edge in 1 seam. And the only thing I want to be careful about is that my blade does not cut the elastic, because that will compromise the integrity of the elastic and it could fray over time and start to fall apart, even inside your casing.
I have to say, every once in a while, no matter how hard I try, I still nick the elastic just a smidge. I don't mean to, but. Yeah.
And I don't really worry about it, especially for kids, because it's going to be worn a season and then it's really not going to be worn again. But, you know, I'll try to leave like a little bit of fabric on top so that I can sew that a little extra fabric or trim that and then stitch around. So I start in the back. And if your fabric is a lot bigger than your elastic, you will have to use your hands. Sorry, you can't really see, but I use the back and my front hands to stretch as I'm sewing, so that the fabric and the elastic are the same. But this one I hardly have to stretch at all. Okay, and then your elastic is attached to the top of your shorts. And the final step then for these quick little shorts is to fold over and either use the cover stitch or use your sewing machine. And I'll usually use a narrow zigzag to finish this little casing here at the top. And you can see that the elastic is fully enclosed. If you matched your thread better, the whole thing would, you know, look quite finished on the inside, but I don't really mind the white thread on there.
Yeah, you won't even see it. But before you get rolling, let's take a quick, there's quite a few questions that came through. So before you finish that cover stitch, we're just going to grab these.
Okay.
So some are asking, can you take the blade down when you're sewing this on a serger? And then there's a lot of questions on, can you turn the blade off? And yes, you totally can turn the blade off.
Yeah.
But that being said, you better get that fabric right on the edge, because otherwise there's going to be too much fabric in your stitch. So it's better to leave the blade up. So when you're serging, just keep away from the elastic. Cut off your fabric a little bit and leave your elastic out of the way.
Yeah.
It's really not as difficult. I was telling you that I have nicked the elastic, so just in case you do that, you won't be like, I got to throw these out. So that answers one good question. And then there's a lot of questions here about what's the difference between a serger and a cover stitch. So last Friday, I did a video for Brother. I think you can go back to the old videos of how to thread your serger, what it's for. That the serger is really to finish your edges. You could use it for so many more things, like rolled hem, ladder stitch, blind hem, all those things. But it finishes the edges, like what Emily's showing you right there.
Yep. So instead of sewing and then finishing an edge with a zigzag or something else, you can do it all in one step if you want. Or some people will even still stitch and then finish. But especially when you're sewing knits, it's great because it's just an all-in-one stitch and finish.
And so now what she's using is the cover stitch, which is a separate machine, which finishes the edges for a hem. It's a totally different application. There's no knife involved. There are 3 needles on the top and a looper on the bottom. And I'll be doing another video for that. And I think you have videos as well, Emily, on showing those 2 different machines.
Yeah, and you can't really sew 2 pieces of fabric together with this necessarily as a seam. You're more doing your finishing, whether it's your top stitching or your hemming.
Yeah,
right?
That's with the cover stitch.
Yeah.
So with the serger, you could just serge something together without sewing at all.
Yes.
Someone said, why would you need a sewing machine and a serger? Well, you don't have to, but if you look inside garments or other projects, DIY, home deck, usually the seams are finished with a serged edge.
And you need a sewing machine for sure to still, because there are still things you can't do just on the serger because it cuts everything. But especially if, both with knits, it just gives you an automatic stretch stitch. You don't have to be fiddling with your machine and making sure your seam is stretchy enough. And I did start with just a sewing machine, but I also did have kids that would come and be like, Mom, there's a hole under my arm, because over time, the seams don't wear as well on knit fabric especially. Exactly.
And I'm seeing a couple comments. Some people have a serger and a cover stitch built in one. And that there are some brands that have that. Brother has separate, and that's what she's using here to answer your question on that. So, all right, keep sewing.
Oh, I'm trying. We'll see if this is, I rethreaded the 3rd needle. We'll see if it's going to play nice. It doesn't appear like it wants to right now, but
this is what usually happens when we're live on It's So Easy TV.
I know.
Like halfway through it and something. So
not.
Pam, you're totally right. You could do a chain stitch on the cover stitch. So
I don't know if it's not liking the thickness of the elastic or I've got something wrong, but it's really not liking what I'm doing here. And I think I just broke a needle even, so good times.
So you guys know, those of you that do not have a cover stitch machine with what she's working on, you can use a twin needle in the sewing machine, or you could go to the sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch to finish that, just like she showed you earlier for that hem. Just some other ideas for you.
What I'm going to do, because this might be more of a mess than I want to fix in the moment. So you saw me hem on it. It does work. It does. It's just, I don't know, but it appears like it's really not liking all these layers. It is kind of thick, what I'm going through. So I'm going to do a quick zigzag. We're going to call it good.
That sounds fantastic. And those of you that want to see a tutorial on the cover stitch, though, go to Brother Sew's YouTube page. I have quite a few videos on there. And again, Emily has videos on there. You know, what's funny is there's only one looper in it. So it's really easy to set up, really, actually. And it has the double cover stitch.
Yeah, so simple to thread it. That's never an issue, is the threading.
Susan, I agree. Everybody loves it. You know, we do this on purpose. We totally have these mistakes just to make you guys.
It always is when I'm live. So I am taking the 2 seconds to rethread this machine to green so that I have a nice, my zigzag, it won't be quite as apparent because it just, I don't feel like a zigzag looks quite as nice, but this will help it to blend in a little bit more. And then you won't really see it.
Yeah, because you're actually going to use these.
We will actually use these. Okay, so back to my zigzag. I'm going to make it just a little bit wider. I'm going to make it 4, a stitch width of 4, just because I have kind of, you know, a big chunk of elastic and stitching here that I'm trying to catch. And then the other thing you want to make sure of, again, is if your fabric is, if you had to pull your fabric at all while you were sewing the elastic on, then you will also probably need to pull your fabric a little bit at this point when you are sewing the casing so that you don't have puckers on the outside. So just give a gentle tug, which will stretch the elastic and flatten the fabric, and then you won't have any weird puckers. And I still sometimes get a couple, especially on this where it's kind of a thicker t-shirt fabric. It's just a thick cotton shirt is essentially what this was. So.
And while you're sewing that, I was a lot of people are making comments about the rolled hem and stuff like that. But you know, I was just thinking of something. That elastic that you have in there, that thicker elastic, that is really challenging to stitch through with a twin needle or a cover stitch. The sports elastic's a little thinner. It bends. It's softer and easier. So that could totally be the reason there. Except a lot of layers.
Oh yeah, I am almost sure it's just because it was too thick and I didn't get it started well. Because I have done this many, many, many times. In fact, you know, these other ones that I just redid, that hem was done the same, or the top was done just like I tried to do. But when I feel this, it feels like there is thinner elastic in there. And I do like the no roll and, you know, the sports elastic as options. So often it'll just be what I have on hand, but that doesn't mean it always works the best.
That's for sure.
Okay, so here, let me just move up here where it gives me a little bit better light so you can see.
Oh yeah, let me make you bigger.
Change to green. You can't even hardly see what it is. And on the inside, you know, I got the white, so you can definitely see my seam. But I don't find it too, I mean, it still is a fine seam for me. And especially for just kids wear. So there are the little shorts, and then you can see that the bottom is just the t-shirt hem.
So cute.
Which is easy.
And that, no hemming, I like that.
No hemming. So, yep. So really, especially if I cut these out ahead of time and I just get sewing, I mean, you can make a pair of these in about 10 minutes. So,
that's even better.
Really easy.
I think my sister, I think she had a business meeting, and I told her she has to watch the show because she has a 3-year-old and 2 twins that are going to turn 2 next month. And I have a feeling going to be sending them some t-shirts to refashion.
Yes, so fun. So if anyone is looking for more information on attaching leggings to a skirt, I have a tutorial on my site. It's probably called Leggings with Skirt. But if you search that on lifesosavory.com, you should be able to find the tutorial where I mash the free legging pattern and then the skirt. And it's kind of a fun little easy project.
I'm just going through some comments here. So Patricia, you have a couple awesome fans on here, by the way. They love your stuff. Patricia, you can find, you already have her, but my website's angelawolf.com. And you can find all the links. I put our Instagrams up on top, so follow Brother Sews. Emily, I brought up your cute page here. This is adorable. Let me just bring this up for a second, if it will work. My I don't know. I think a lot of people are online today. Internet's been a little weird today, but there. This is her Instagram. Isn't that cute? A lot of fun projects on there. A lot of fun projects. And there's mine. Working on, well, I haven't been posting a lot. I've been posting everything in the stories, and I forget my page. I'm thinking I did that like a month ago. And now it's just getting to the weather where it might work out.
Yes.
So I will go back through because I see some people asking about different yes, Shanna, I do have a video on a rolled hem. Emily, I'm sure you do too. You can find our YouTube channels by going to our website and then just click.
Yep.
Let's see, I saw a few more. Oh, I love the rolled hem. What did you say you were using the rolled hem for this weekend?
Oh, I made a handkerchief dress for Rose. So it's a tank on the top, but it's a square hem bottom. And it was a pattern that I saw on sale, and I know I could probably figure it out, but I was like, I'm going to just spend the money, and it was easier. So it was a PDF pattern that I downloaded. I don't remember where, but the square hem has a cute little like border of a different fabric. And then I just didn't want to hem it, even though the fabric or the border was a woven. So I just did a rolled hem.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see the skirt. Hi, Pam. So if you've never been to our live videos, we're doing these every day all the way until the end of May. And you never know after that, but at least every day. And Emily comes on here every Monday with a great tutorial. And Emily also does a live show on her own page that we share to Brother every Wednesday.
Yep.
Can't miss. I love those. You know what I'm thinking about that skirt? It reminds me of if I were going to go play tennis. So I might be doing this for myself.
Well, it's easy. I mean, any legging pattern that you have that you already like, you can add the skirt without any additional patterns. You know, that's just a measurements to do a half circle skirt. So it's really easy.
Perfect.
Yeah. Maybe a Wednesday on my live show, I'll make another skirt with shorts from scratch.
Oh, that sounds good.
Because actually what's really cute for Rose is I have a bunch of like sports mesh. And so I'll do knit shorts with the sports mesh skirt over it. And that looks really cute.
Very cute. Sure. I'm just scanning. I think I've got all the questions. So for those of you who've never been here before, I'm going to show you the machine we're giving away on Friday. But hey, kids.
What are you getting, Rose? Did someone on this side? Someone hurt themselves? Looking for ice packs, never a great.
That's usually not a good thing.
No.
So if you want to watch this video again, I know a lot of you rolled in later. You can share it to your timeline on Facebook. You can watch it on YouTube or go back to Brother Sews or any of our pages. We've all shared it. So we're trying to make it as easy for you to find these as possible, but you know, technology. And everybody's saying, uh-oh, what's the ice pack for?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so I'm going to show, my email is not working today for some reason. So I'm going to show you a photo as your hint of what we're going to be giving away for the next 10 weeks. So I think I have it on here. I don't know why. I'm getting emails on my phone, but my computer, not so much. So have you heard of the new machine that is available at dealers, the Pacesetter 300? Let me just show you a photo. I'll have to show this to you on my phone because my email's not working. This.
Oh, pretty.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So Brother gave us 10 of these, and we will be giving them away every Friday. I will give you all of the details tomorrow with our show with May, and the link will be available for where you sign up. Any comments that you leave today will actually count you in. I have kind of a fun idea for this one, so you'll just have to wait till tomorrow. But Brother, thank you for the 10 machines. Emily, thank you for a great tutorial.
Yeah,
I hope that those ice packs aren't for anything important.
I didn't hear any crying, so I don't know. They're taking care of it, apparently.
You're pretty calm. Yes. And please, if you want to follow us, you have our Instagram. I put our websites down below. And be sure to follow Brother Sews as well. So, all right, Emily, have a great day. See you next Monday. Well, actually, we'll see you Wednesday first, and then we'll see you next Monday.
Okay, sounds great. Bye.
All right. Bye.